That's it. We got brand new SKF bearings in our Su-Ron Jackshaft, and we are good to install everything, put it back in, and start riding again. This should drastically improve the sound and feel of your Surron. If you have a lot of miles on it, you wonder maybe your jackshaft is going out. A lot of times it's these crappy bearings that come with the Surron Jackshaft, so we just swapped them out for some fancy SKF bearings with Italian manufacturing, and then some fresh seals to keep everything new and clean. Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to replace the Surron Jackshaft bearings with some nice new SKF bearings using this complete bearing replacement kit. So the kit is going to be linked in the description. Basically what this kit comes with is your new SKF bearings, some jackshaft bearing seals, which are very important and should be replaced whenever you mess with your bearings. And then you're also going to get a nice bearing pusher tool and a bearing cup for removing the bearings. So today we're going to go over how to use all of this. There's other videos you can watch on how to get to this point where you have the jackshaft removed, but we're picking up right there, and I'm going to show you how to get the bearings swapped using this kit. Oh, and let me talk about the tools you're going to need first. Additional tools that you'll need that are not provided with the kit is a rubber mallet. You could also use a hammer for this. Since we have the bearing pusher tool, it doesn't matter if we use a normal hammer. We're not going to ding anything up besides the tool. And then screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and you're also going to need something to push the bearings out that will reach the entire length of the jack shaft. So this screwdriver isn't quite long enough because it doesn't reach all the way down. So that's why we're using this extra tool here. So first off, we can remove the seal, carefully prying it out. Since this is an old seal, we don't want to, or it doesn't matter if we damage it. Oh, they're in there pretty tight. There we go. So our old seal is out. That will be replaced with the new seals. We got the seal out. Now it's time to push the bearings. So this is going to be really hard to see, but if you look all the way through this jack shaft, there's a kind of a metal tube in there. We need to push that out of the way. So in order to do that, what I'll do is I'm just going to stick the screwdriver in. It's hard to get this on camera. And I'm going to sort of push. There we go. There we go. So now if we look in, we can see it's not quite perfectly circular anymore. We push that metal lip out of the way. So now we can start hammering bearings out. So this is where the bearing cup comes in. Place it in the cup there. And then you're going to want to try to aim for that little lip that's left. For this we'll use this tool. We'll basically go in here. That's not going to work for this. We'll have to use the other side. In there, you can kind of feel it sit down on the lip there. And we're going to hit it with the hammer. We're going to try to rotate our way around, because we don't want to get those bearings sort of crammed in there where we can't get to them anymore. Things are getting looser now. Alright, so one bearing is out right there. Now we're going to do the other one. These bearings cannot be reused after you do this, because we are damaging the bearings that are in there. There we go. So this is what's in the way. This is what we're bending out of the way. Here's our two bearings from one side. Now we're going to have to do the other side because we still have these. So we'll just flip it over in the bearing cup. And this one's a lot easier. We're just going to hammer around. we go. All the bearings are removed now. So we can start loading up our new bearings. And also included with this bearing replacement kit is going to be a small packet of assembly grease. So that is going to help you get these new bearings in a lot easier than the old bearings came out. And it's also going to consistently lubricate the jack shaft bearings. So what we're going to do here is open up our brand new SKF bearings. Going to try to keep them clean as possible. These bearings are upgrade above the stock Surron ones. SKF is a well-known bearing brand manufactured in Italy, which is why these are what we're putting in. So anytime we need to replace something, I like to upgrade it as well. So we're going to get a little bit of assembly grease on a Q-tip, and we're going to just put a little bit around the edges here. Give it some nice lubrication to go straight in. Alright, so then we'll put our bearing just lightly where we want it. And this bearing pusher tool is nice because you have a concave head here. This is to ensure that you're only pushing on the outer race of the bearing. You do not want to apply pressure to the inside. That's why we can't reuse the old bearings anymore, because we hammered them out by hitting that inner race. So those are no good anymore. So all we're going to do is set this right on top of the bearing and start hammering. You want to hammer very evenly and lightly, just enough to get it in. If it starts going crooked, you can always pull it out and try again, or just apply pressure to the other side. So this should seat all the way down. You'll kind of feel a difference in the pressure once it's seated. So there's one bearing. Now we'll take our other SKF bearing, give it a little bit more assembly grease just to make sure things are nice and lubricated. A little bit of grease helps things go more smoothly. And we'll place our second bearing there, and same deal. Evenly, small taps, hammer it right in. And there's our one side done. So now before you do the next side, you want to make sure you're putting this in, this inner liner. I like to put a little bit of assembly grease in here just to make sure it stays lubricated. Don't really need to lubricate the outside, since the outside's not going to be touching much. You can maybe put a little bit inside for when we finally put the jack shaft axle through. So now we're just going to drop this right in there. Doesn't matter if it's lined up yet. We'll get there near the end. Open up our two other SKF bearings. We're going to keep those clean, off of the ground. And now we'll put a little bit more assembly grease into here. And same deal. Get our bearing sitting right where we want it. Put our pusher tool on. Start evenly tapping it in. So this one went in a lot more easily than the other ones. Not fully seated yet. It's looking good. Again, we'll throw a little bit more grease in there. And drop this one in. Oop, wrong side. So this one's starting a little crooked. We'll apply a bit of pressure on the side there. There we go. And now we're good. So now you'll notice at this point your inner race protector there might not be aligned yet, but we can just kind of push that into place with the screwdriver, same way as we pushed it out of place earlier. And you'll kind of see it line up. I got some assembly grease in there blocking my view a bit. Make sure it's lined up on both sides. It shouldn't be catching on the screwdriver when you slide it through. So any kind of lip you want to align. It may help if you have some kind of alignment tool. This might even work better. That doesn't quite fit. There we go. We're all lined up. And then we can take our new jackshaft seals. If I can get the bag open. So this kit comes with 2 seals. One of them was the one we pulled out. The other one goes on the end of the little spacer that will come out when you remove the jackshaft. So for these, this larger outer diameter one is the one that's going to go right here. That's the only one we're going to worry about right now. The other one, when you take it apart, you'll see it's pretty self-evident. We're going to apply a little bit of assembly grease around the edges of this and also the outside wall. Make sure it slides in nice and easy for us. And this just keeps dust out. And then we're going to want to install this with the bearing press as well. So we'll kind of get it started. It's rubber, so it's a lot easier to get started without tools. And we'll just tap it in very lightly. You don't want to damage these seals. And there we go. That seal's seated. And then the other seal will go, you're going to put the little spacer here, and the other seal goes on the outside of the spacer. So that's it. We got brand new SKF bearings in our Surron Jackshaft, and we are good to install everything, put it back in, and start riding again. This should drastically improve the sound and feel of your Surron. If you have a lot of miles on it, you wonder maybe your jackshaft is going out. A lot of times it's these crappy bearings that come with the Surron Jackshaft, so we just swapped them out for some fancy SKF bearings with Italian manufacturing, and then some fresh seals to keep everything new and clean. So thank you everybody for watching. This has been another MB Zoomer video. Please leave any comments, questions, concerns. This bearing replacement kit is going to be included in the description, so if you want to pick one up for yourself to make your bearing replacement super easy, please feel free to go check that out. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.